couple weeks ago, Melanie and I took some time and we went down to South Carolina and North Carolina to see my dad and to see our son, our youngest son, and also to take some study time. It was a good time to be able to kind of get away, and after Easter and all the busyness of that season, it was good to be able to just kind of get away and find some time again to do some studying, to see some people, that kind of thing. And it was great. We had a nice hotel room. We had a great visit. But here's the thing: by the time the week went past, I was ready to be home. Some of it had to do with just the busyness of being there and seeing people and all of that, but some of it too is just you miss home, right? You miss the normal routine, and it's funny because sometimes when you're in the normal routine of the day, you can't wait to get away, to get out of the normal routine, and then you get out of the normal routine, and you can't wait to get back to it. I don't know what that is, but I think one of the things that points to is just the importance of home. I mean, sometimes just the importance of being home, being in a place that is known and maybe even predictable, comfortable. That's something I think a lot of us long for. So as I was thinking about that and thinking about it kind of on our way driving home, looking forward to being back in my own bed and being back in my lazy boy, a thought occurred to me, and I began to think about how our trip, was by choice. But I can't imagine what it would be like if you were being forced out of your home. And that, of course, led me to this concept or this period of time called the exile. And I know I've talked about the exile quite a bit and that experience, but basically, it was a time when Israel was defeated and they were taken out of their homeland. Nebuchadnezzar had come in and he had defeated the Israelites. He had destroyed Jerusalem. He had destroyed their temple, and he took many of them out of that place of comfort, that place of home, and he brought them to Babylon, where they were supposed to settle. And it was a difficult time for them. It was a difficult time to be away, but it was also a time where they were being reformed. They were being changed and molded by God. God had actually allowed this period of time to happen so that they could get back on the right track and maybe begin to appreciate and understand the comfort that was home that they had kind of taken advantage of. And so as you read through the prophets are often really harsh with the Israelites because they're talking about how you're leaving, you're not worshiping God the way you should. You're attending to other gods. You are allowing yourself to become rote in terms of your practice, your worship practices. It's become meaningless. Your sacrificial practices have become meaningless. And so God has challenged them to really, while they're away from home, to recognize what they need to do. And so it's this great time of molding as well. And the prophets are really tough on the Israelites in the beginning, but almost every prophet that we have in the Old Testament also begins to talk about a word of hope. And we see it throughout the message of the prophets. Yes, there's a lot of judgment, but there's also a reminder of the importance of home and the importance of this idea that even though they are displaced right now, God is still with them. And God will bring them home. God will restore them to what they were before. And so as I was thinking about this, I had run across a verse from Zechariah, and I don't think we use Zechariah a lot, but Zechariah 14, it begins with this kind of, again, pretty harsh judgment against Israel. But then by the time we get to verse 6, it says this: on that day, this is the day of restoration, on that day, there will not be either cold or frost, and there shall be a continuous day. It is known as to the Lord, not a day and not a night, for evening and time there will be light. On that day, living water shall flow from Israel, from Jerusalem, half of them to the east of the sea, and half of them to the western sea. It shall continue summer as in winter. And the Lord God will become king over all the earth. And on that day, the Lord will be one, and his name will be one. You know, it is hard, I think, to be taken out of your comfort zone. It is hard to be moved out of a place of home. But as we are, there's also this idea where this can be a learning moment for me. It can be a time for me to learn what I appreciate. And so Zechariah is trying to say, look, on that day, it's going to be different. Things are going to begin to change. And then he comes to that last part. And in that day, God's going to become king over all the earth. It's this great sense of hope, this great sense of what home can be like in a time of restoration. And I think that's really important for us to hold on to. I mean, we can talk about our physical home. We can talk about the physical comfort of home, but the knowledge of knowing that God is with you helps you experience home, not just physically, but also spiritually. And I think that's the promise that many of these prophets, including Zechariah, are trying to bring home to the people of Israel. A recognition that home, yes, it's physical, but it's also the presence of God. Feeling that comfort and that presence of God is what really makes home home.